Monday afternoon. What's going on? How are you doing? How are y'all doing this morning? How's everybody doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. How's everybody doing this morning? Oh, it's not morning, it's afternoon now. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Good, good. Did y'all happen to watch the Packer game? The Green Bay Packers versus the Cardinals this past Sunday. What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the likes. How y'all doing? What's up, real guy? How's everybody doing? Bro, what's going on? Do you happen to watch the football game? The Green Bay Packers versus y'all watched the Green Bay Packer game this past Sunday? You don't speak English. Mm, definitely don't know what you're saying right there. Hey, if you're new to the stream, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I appreciate all y'all watching. How are you doing? Yo, what's going on? Yo, yo, yo. I didn't realize you were in the stream when I left. Were you talking Saturday? Oh, you're talking about during the pay-per-view, right? You're talking about during the pay-per-view? Well, one, I thought the pay-per-view was incredibly bad. A lot of the stories didn't make sense to me, and I really was really tired, so I decided to go ahead and go to sleep. The stuff with Darby Allen was just ridiculously bad. I talked about it on one of my videos. Moxley put his head in a fish tank for every bit of 5 seconds, and then Darby Allen comes out of the fish tank like he's dying. His head was in the water for like 5 seconds. It just came across as stupid. He's no way he's drowning. This man climbed Mount Everest. You can climb Mount Everest, but you can't hold your breath for 5 seconds. Nothing about that seems believable. I just couldn't help. It wasn't even laughter. It was just cringe. I was watching it cringing. Like, how stupid do they think we are as fans? The whole fish tank thing was just stupid. Okay, you're right. I am talking about logic, but the whole thing was just stupid with the fish tank. I mean, if he can climb Mount Everest, he can surely hold his breath for 3 seconds. And and then Sting comes back. What's the point in Sting coming back? He's a bazillion years old. He's a freaking he's a dinosaur. Yeah, when you talk about tag matches, um, and even like the X Division style wrestling, like I always talked about the Young Bucks being spot monkeys, which is X Division style. Um, but anything is okay if it's in moderation. Anything's okay as long as it's in moderation. But the problem with AEW is they don't do anything in moderation. They take hardcore to the freaking realm, and then they'll have these six sadistic matches, and there'll be like two of them on one show. You can't do that. If you're gonna have a six sadistic match, there should only be one on the show, not two or three or four. And if you're gonna have a tag match, you're gonna have a tag match. You can't have four or five tag matches on one show. I agree. I agree. And if you're going to have tag titles, you shouldn't have trio titles and tag titles. That's even more ridiculous. Yeah. Well, if you only had the trio titles, it probably would make you stand out if you only had the trio titles. But the fact that they have trio titles and tag team titles, it waters it down. Do you remember when AEW first started, how everybody was fired up and they were hungry for something to be big and they wanted something to be big? Do you remember how everybody was so hungry for it? Well, how about having a women's title and the TBS title? That makes no sense either. The women's title and the TBS title? Yeah. I'm just trying to get my I'm trying to get my watch hours so I can get monetized. I want to get monetized. I can step up my production. I promise that if I get monetized, I'll put everything back into the channel, and I will make everything about the channel. I won't go out and buy stuff that's unnecessary. I will only put my money back into the channel. I really want to get monetized so I can grow the channel. Oh, it's ridiculous. The storyline about the Bucks going broke is ridiculous because no one believes it. Everyone knows the Bucks aren't going broke. No one believes it. The money they make off of YouTube is enough to keep them set for life. They could live off what they make on YouTube. They don't even need AEW at this point. They could live off the money they make from YouTube. They could live off their money they make from T-shirt sales. They don't need AEW. Their pockets have been padded. I can suspend my belief, but when you're telling me the president of a company that the whole company was built on was how successful the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, that's what the company was built on. So we know they're successful because you told us they were successful. You can't suddenly make us suspend our disbelief and believing that these guys are suddenly some gambling morons because we know better than that. Or the Young Bucks are good at what they do, spot wrestling, jumping around, bouncing around. They're not good at telling a story, but they're athletic. And if it's the first time you ever seen it, it's probably amazing. But it's not the first time I've seen it. I've been watching wrestling for a long time. More questionable is what do you think of Jack Perry because of the stuff? Didn't he get fired because of an incident with CM Punk? Didn't he get fired because of what happened with CM Punk about going through the glass? Was that him about the glass incident? He didn't want to go through the glass, or yeah, but wasn't it because he wanted to go through the glass, but CM Punk didn't want to use real glass, or some shit like that, where CM Punk wanted to use fake glass, but Jack Perry wanted to use real glass. Of all time, I was a big fan of Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. I think they had the best women wrestling match and maybe some of the best matches period ever was Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong. I think you were talking about AEW, but uh, maybe if I knew the characters better, maybe I could have got into it more. But it seemed like they have a lot of Barbie doll characters. Not saying TNA doesn't, because TNA does. TNA, because I think of the Elegance brand and the Elegance brand and the Inspiration are just want to be beautiful people. Do you agree? The Elegance brand and the Inspiration are want to be beautiful people. Yeah, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? That kind of sucks. They got inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, so that should tell you a little bit. Nah, they that's what I heard. I didn't really follow her when she was in WWE. You see my little dog? Let's look at my analytics. Is that the girl that keeps winning all the titles? Is that the girl that keeps on winning ridiculous amounts of titles? She was in WWE, right? Sasha Banks. You remember when Lance Storm won all the titles in WCW? I don't know if you remember that. Probably not. That probably was way before your time. He won the tag team titles, the United States title, and the cruiserweight title. Lance Storm. On Americans. I think he actually gave the WCW cruiserweight title to Primetime Milk Skipper. He gave the tag team titles to somebody else, and I think he kept the U.S. title. And he formed Team Canada in WCW. Alex Skipper is also the same guy that walked the top of the steel cage. I showed you that the other night. He was the guy who walked the top of the steel cage, Alex Skipper. The pay per view wasn't good. AEW has never really been able to tell a story though. They they had the best story in the world. It was this company that was very organic and and in nature. It was very organic in nature. They had the best story in the world. They were the little company that really wasn't that little, and they were just people wanted to support them. People really wanted to support AEW, and I think TNA is going to take their place as number two wrestling company as soon as they get their TV deal. And what does TNA have that AEW doesn't? They have history. They know what it means to fail. They failed before. They know what it's like to fail, to fall flat on their face. And I think TNA, with all their knowledge, they know what it's like to bring in the wrong guys. They brought in the wrong guys in Hulk Hogan and stuff like that. So they know what it's like to bring in the wrong guys. But they they really, really have the chance to succeed if they get a TV deal. I think again, I think all of that will change. I think all of that will change when they get a major TV deal. Because you have to basically be a TNA diehard to watch right now. You have to have TNA Plus. Like I have TNA Plus. I don't know if you have TNA Plus. Well, since their last two big pay per views have both broken attendance records, I would say the company's probably profitable for the first time in a long time. The company's probably making money for the first time in a long time. And they don't have a lot of guys under crazy contracts that really hurt TNA when they had Hulk Hogan and Sting and Booker T and so many Kurt Angle and Christian Cage and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. I know they got some of those guys, but they don't have as many guys. Well, a lot of those guys probably left because there was no TV. There was no big TV deal. There was no. They couldn't get their brand out there. I like Tasha Steeles. Well, Slamovich really did some fucked up shit. I don't know if you heard about it. She beat the hell out of her boyfriend. I wasn't that big on Ace Austin. I knew he could fly and he was a good X Division guy. I don't ever, I don't, ever, I don't ever think he had the. I think he was too small, and I hate saying that because I know a lot of people don't think guys can be too small, but I do think you can be too small to be world champion. I know TNA's had some pretty small world champions, but I'm a, I guess I'm kind of biased. Trey's probably a little bigger, but I don't think Trey's ever going to try to go for the world title either. I don't ever see that happening. Where I see that Ace probably wanted to go for the world title, I don't think Trey ever was interested in going for the world title because I think Trey knew he was an X Division guy. There's nothing wrong with being an X Division guy. I mean, like somebody like Leon Slater could go for the world title and it would be believable. Leon Slater could go for the world title. That would be believable. Yeah. You like Leon Slater? You don't like Mike Santana? You don't like Mike Santana? I think Leon Slater has many layers. So you're not currently watching TNA because Mike Santana is the world heavyweight champion. I think he has a great backstory. Him overcoming, going, getting on drugs, and beating his demons, going to rehab and beating his demons. I think he has a really compelling story. I mean, pretty much Mike Santana almost died. He literally hit rock bottom. Well, I understand where you're coming from there because I left wrestling for a little while um, because it didn't seem like TNA was going to grow. And I was a TNA fan, and it didn't really seem like TNA was growing. They took a really bad hit after the Hulk Hogan thing. Then they went to Pop, and when they left Pop, it got even worse. Then they went to Access, and I never watched them when they got on Access. Yeah, it was a little network that they were on for about a year and a half. It was after Spike TV. It was after Spike TV. So yeah, it's on Access, but you can get the TNA Plus app, which is what I watch TNA on the TNA Plus app. You get all the pay per views except for the big four, and then you can pay for the big four on TNA Plus. But the little pay per views come with TNA Plus, like Victory Roads and Final Resolution. They'll come with TNA Plus. Just the big ones don't. Genesis, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory don't come with TNA Plus. Those are an additional $30. I kind of like the NXT thing because it gives them an opportunity to get bigger talent. But I get your point. It's not going to last forever anyway. It's not going to last forever anyway. Well, they can't take them if they're under contract. The problem is right now, TNA doesn't want to sign any guys to big contracts because they're trying to stay profitable. They're trying to make money. You can't lock somebody under contract for 5 or 6 years and then not use them. Like a lot of the big companies like AEW can pay somebody to sit at home for 3 years, and WWE can pay somebody to sit at home for 3 years. TNA can't pay somebody to sit at home for 3 years. Jordan Grace was freaking phenomenal. I think she'll end up back in TNA though. Jordan Grace will end up back in TNA. She left because there is no television deal. There's no real television deal. I think a lot of these people will come back to TNA, or wrestlers will stay in TNA when they develop, because there's a TV. TV makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. That's why it's so important for TNA to get television, to get major television network. Well, like I said, I think the partnership will end eventually. I think all things come to an end. My bigger concern is my bigger concern is if WWE helps TNA get a major TV deal, then will they be able to take that TV deal away from them? If if WWE gets TNA a major TV deal, can they take that TV deal away from them? Well, I agree that WWE should send Raw and SmackDown superstars to TNA, and I think that they might do that when TNA has a major TV deal. They feel like if they send Roman Reigns to TNA, it'll make TNA look, it'll make their Roman Reigns look bad because he's on this Access TV. If Roman Reigns was getting sent to a major network, then they could put him on a show that the same amount of people could watch, and you're going to see a big shift because here in the near future, WWE is going to be on ESPN, and TNA is going to be the affordable option. TNA is going to be the affordable wrestling company to watch, where WWE is going to be completely outrageous to watch. That's going to open a lot of doors for TNA. I'd like to see John Cena have a match in TNA. What's the what's the big black guy that's in NXT? I think he was the NXT World Champion, the big black guy. Seth Rollins. Yeah, I think him and Moose could have a good feud. I would like to see him and Moose have a good feud in TNA on a TNA pay per view. See, here's my bigger problem. Leon Slater and Evans are going to have a classic match at Halloween Havoc, but they couldn't have a classic match at Bound for Glory. My problem is TNA isn't going to so TNA isn't going to be able to get that classic match on their programming. It's going to end up happening on a NXT pay per view Halloween Havoc. That sucks to me. They want that match to happen on their show. To me, that's not fair. That's not a fair relationship. The best match, probably in NXT TNA history, is going to happen on an NXT pay per view when it was originally planned for a TNA pay per view. It most cases it seems like it does benefit the WWE, but again, I'm hoping that when they get a TV deal, things are more even because right now, let's be honest, WWE's on the CW network and TNA is on a streaming platform with the TNA Plus. It's not an equal playing field. It is WWE does bring more to the table. When TNA brings a television deal to the table, they're more on an equal playing field. So I think that will make a big difference. And if TNA ends up on the CW network, if TNA ends up on the CW network, it'll be really easy for them to cross promote. They won't, there's no hesitation in cross promoting. If you noticed, WWE doesn't really mind cross promoting their pay per views because their pay per views are as accessible as WWE events are, but they don't really cross promote Impact. If you picked up on that, like they advertised the Dudleys versus the Hardys at SummerSlam, Survivor Series. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was Survivor Series. They advertised the Survivor Series match. Um, at Survivor Series, they advertised the Hardys versus the Dudleys at Bound for Glory, but they didn't advertise. They don't advertise Impact. So it's because Impact isn't really on a major network. They can't say Access TV because no one in the fucking has Access TV. No one has NXT. I mean, no one has Access TV. I think if they're on the CW network, WWE is not going to have a hard time saying watch TNA this Thursday or this Wednesday on the CW network. I think you'll see commercials during WWE programming all the time for TNA, and that's a good thing. They can say TNA Plus, but I feel like that's beneath them. I think they feel like that's beneath them. They They might be able to say it, but here's another thing: they don't say it. They do not say it. I don't think that they're going. Well, they should. They should promote. They should promote TNA and NXT. I think they will when TNA gets on a big network like the CW network. I think everything will change. I think I think it will be way different. Especially if TNA goes on Wednesday nights and goes head to head with AEW, which is the number one reason why WWE wants a relationship with TNA, because they feel it's a great way to take out AEW. And if TNA gets used as a pawn to take out AEW, I don't think that's a bad thing for TNA. I think it's a good thing that WWE will use their machine to push TNA so they can take out AEW. I think that's a good thing for TNA because they will still be getting pushed regardless of the reasoning behind it. Welcome to the stream. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If they get, and I think they will get pushed more. Hello. Hey, what you doing? Then, then you're going to Pikesville. You don't even know what 7 in the morning looks like. I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. Can I come over tonight, or you don't want me to? All right, I'll come over whenever you get home. All right, bye, baby. Love you. Bye bye. Welcome to the stream. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I talk a little football, especially if the Green Bay Packers are playing, and I talk about TNA wrestling the most. Most of my channel is about TNA wrestling. Um, TNA's not currently doing shows because they usually don't do shows after Bound for Glory. Live Thursday, November 13th will be their first official live show. TNA will be back doing shows, and their Thursday show on the 13th, November the 13th, will be live. Funny thing, my girlfriend doesn't even know what wrestling is, but she sat there and watched Bound for Glory with me, and she's your typical person that doesn't watch wrestling. That's so fake. It's so fake. It's so fake. It does get quite annoying for her to tell me it's fake every 5 seconds. But oh my god, I've been to so many TNA events. I went to the first 10 Bound for Glories. I went to all 10 of them. I went to every single one of the first 10 Bound for Glories. I've been to quite a few Slammiversaries. I've been to a lot of Impact tapings. I've been to even more house shows. When TNA was doing house shows regularly. I went to a lot of house shows. So yeah, I've been to a lot of TNA shows. I'm willing to bet I've been to over 300 TNA shows. Yep, definitely been to a lot of TNA shows. I live in North Carolina. I live in North Carolina. They don't really tour in North Carolina a lot. When they did tour, when they used to do house shows, they used to do house shows in Winston Salem, North Carolina, all the time, and I would always go to the shows in Winston Salem, North Carolina. Um, I went to Genesis, and the only thing I really remember about Genesis was Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett. Was at Genesis. It was phenomenal. I've been to California. I went to Irvine, California for Bound for Glory. Irvine, California for Bound for Glory. All the way across the country. TNA Bound for Glory in California. It was October 18th, 2009. And hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? It was AJ Styles beat Sting for the world title. I definitely do love TNA. I ended up getting kicked out of Bound for Glory because I threw a cup at Bobby Lashley. I hit him right in the head with a cup. So I got kicked out of Bound for Glory. I really think I got kicked out because I was throwing a cup at a baby face. He was a baby face at the time. And I think because they didn't like the fact that I was throwing a cup at a baby face. Well, AJ was known as the phenomenal one um, because the guy could slide under a guardrail. He's not really phenomenal anymore. He's old. He can't do anything he could do. He can't do anything he could do when he was in TNA. He can't do the spiral tap. He can't slide under guardrails. He can't he can't do those insane moves that he was known for. No, I guess he doesn't have a character. He had a pretty good character towards the end of his TNA run. He was in a biker gang called Aces and Eights. He was in a biker gang called. Well, he wasn't in a biker gang. They teased him being in a biker gang, and he started acting like a biker, like one of the biker gang members. Um, he had a really interesting character, and then he was the only one. Or that was his gimmick, is that he was a lone wolf, and he was kind of by himself, kind of like Sting was in WCW. And he was up in the rafters and stuff, looking down in the ring from the rafters. Really interesting character. But I guess WWE kind of lost all of that. AJ Styles was also part of some of the dumbest shit in TNA when they brought in Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. They had him starting to act like Ric Flair, which was just really, really stupid. And he was acting like Ric Flair, wearing a Ric Flair robe and doing the stroke like Ric Flair, just doing really stupid shit. And that kind of shit almost killed TNA. I can see that. WWE probably has a lot of Trump supporters. I'm sure WWE is loaded to the rim with Trump supporters. Are you? I'm guessing you're not a Trump supporter. I'm guessing you're not a Trump supporter. You don't like LA Knight? Did you watch LA Knight when he was Eli Drake? Eli Drake. Dummy. Yeah. When I say dummy, you say yeah. Why are you saying yeah, dummy? Eli Drake used to be the best heel ever. Oh, I don't know about ever, but Eli Drake was a good heel. When I say dummy, you say yeah. Why are you saying dummy? Yeah. Yeah, it was horrible. Didn't like him then. I don't like him now. Yeah. Like I've been saying. Like I've been saying, I just can't wait for TNA to get their TV deal. I really want their TV deal to come now. Do you have a Discord? Do you have a Discord name? Are you on Discord? Same name. Let me look you up. CC. Can you message me? I can't find you on Discord. I can't find you on Discord. C top. It won't let me message anybody that I haven't already talked to. Let me join the YouTube. I gotta check. Make sure I give you the right name. Let me look. All right. All right. Let me type it in there. Tell me when you messaged me. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
I'm gonna put you where you can talk on the stream.
Okay.
Just mute the stream so it doesn't echo.
All right.
So I take it you don't like Donald Trump much.
No, not that. It's just those vibes. Like, I don't care who you vote for, but like when I see guys like AJ, they just look like those are the type of guys that have a Confederate flag in their truck and all that.
That's not hard to believe, is it?
Yeah, it just gives me that vibe. Like, and then he from Georgia. He got that Southern twang.
Well, rest assured, I did not vote for Trump. I don't like Trump at all.
Yeah, he's just I don't know how he won twice, but it is what it is.
Well, I can tell you why he won twice. Because
Why?
because Kamala Harris was she was too pro LGBT, and it turned a lot of people off, and people that would vote Democrat traditionally just they wouldn't vote for Trump, but they were willing to stay home, and a lot of Democrats just sat on their hands and didn't go out and vote, and all the Trump supporters came out and voted, and that means he won because the Democrats sat on their hands. They were like, I don't like Kamala Harris. instead of holding their nose and voting for someone they didn't like, they chose to just not vote at all. Same thing when Hillary ran. People that didn't like Hillary, instead of sucking it up and saying, well, Hillary's a better chance, Hillary and Kamala Harris are better options than Donald Trump, they said, I'd rather just sit at home. And they sat at home and Trump won. That's what happened.
Mm. So,
When
yeah, I only be following it. I know about you see the Charlie Kirk thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Everybody, I was scared, not gonna lie, because they were like talking about retaliation, stuff like that.
Yeah, the and then you see the No Kings protest going on right now.
What's that?
Basically, it's the Democrats protesting Trump, and they're protesting all over the country. Massive, big, largest protest there's ever been in American history. Gatherings of millions of people are protesting Donald Trump.
It's called No King.
No king, because they think Trump's acting like a king.
Yeah, and I think he's one of the people that like he kind of thrives off of negativity.
He
So
does.
like you keep on like talking about him, you keep on, I feel like that's what make it worse. If you just, it's like he's like that kid, that annoying kid that won't shut up. If you just ignore him, he'll shut up.
That is true. But it doesn't matter because we have him for 3 more years, whether we like him or not. And in 3 years, we can pray that the next president is not a Republican.
But can they impeach people?
They can, but he has a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate. They're not going to impeach him
So how is that? How is he able to get both? Shouldn't that be non-biased?
because they won the House and the Senate and the White House. They won all three chambers of government.
See, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I don't really know. I don't really know nothing about politics. I ain't know they could do that.
Yeah, they won in a landslide victory. I mean, people really didn't like Kamala Harris.
Yeah, because and then a lot of blacks didn't like her either because they said that she put a lot of blacks in jail.
She did.
But I don't know how did she get the power to put people in jail?
Because she was a district attorney in California.
That's what her degree is in.
No, she basically decided whether people in California went to jail or not. She was. You don't know what a district attorney is?
No, I don't know what they do. No.
They're the people that tell the judge what you should get. They tell the judge what you should get. They recommend what you should get to the judge.
Oh dang.
Pretty much whatever the district attorney says is what you're gonna get. Very rarely will the judge go against the district attorney.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some research on that stuff.
Yeah. If you get sentenced to something, if you make a deal with the district attorney, you make a plea deal or something like that, the judge will go along with it if unless he really really has a problem with it. Even if he really has a problem with it, most of the time he'll go along with it.
Mm. Are you into like Marvel, DC, or stuff like that?
No, not really.
Oh, that's shocking. I watch the movies, but I I don't read the comic books.
Are you shocking because most wrestling fans are into that stuff?
Well, a lot of men in general seem to like it.
Yeah. A lot of wrestling fans like it.
What they do.
It seems to be a parallel in between wrestling fans and Marvel and comics.
But wrestling fans hate UFC, and UFC fans hate wrestling.
Well, I like mixed martial. I like boxing. I follow Jake Paul. If you stay in tune with my channel, you'll see that I'll give the Jake Paul fight a lot of coverage. I'll definitely be live streaming during the Jake Paul fight coming up in November.
Yeah, I watch boxing. I've kind of fell off of UFC this later year.
Yeah,
It
me
hasn't
too.
been good.
Yeah, me too.
But the last fight that I really gave a shit about was Poirier versus Holloway. I mean, I didn't really care about the fight itself, but that was like a fight that I was like, okay, I'll watch that.
What did you think of Tyson versus Jake Paul?
Just a clown show.
Yeah. Hey, it was the most watched fight in history.
Cause it was the first live Netflix fight, right?
It was, and it was Mike Tyson, and it was Jake Paul, and the combination of everything. I think Jake Paul's next fight will be the most watched fight. I think Jake Paul just draws eyeballs. He makes people watch. Jake Paul knows how to make people.
He's like Conor McGregor. Like you love to hate him.
Not to mention Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is going to be a hell of a fight because nobody knows who's going to win. If you had a brain, I think you knew Jake Paul was going to win. He was going to be able to beat Tyson. You had to not have a brain to not realize that a young Jake Paul was going to beat an old Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed obvious to me, but people during the build-up they were acting like it wasn't obvious. It's like Mike Tyson gonna knock him out. He still got power. Like it doesn't matter if you haven't been in the ring.
It doesn't matter if you can't land a devastating punch because Jake Paul's quick. He's really quick. He wasn't never going to get that sweet punch on Jake Paul. He was never going to land a punch on him. But Tank Davis it has let me pull up his record. I think it's really impressive.
But Jake Paul can't beat nobody his weight and in their prime. Like he won't dare fight Crawford. But Gervonta
Tank Davis
like a midget.
Hold on. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. What'd you say? He wouldn't face who?
I think someone way shorter than him, though.
Davis is?
Davis is really short.
Yeah. But he has a hell of a knockout history.
I think they're paying people to lose to Jake Paul.
I don't believe that. I think that's conspiracy theory.
Because if Davis doesn't really go out there trying to knock him out, you know he's being paid to just go to the judges and scoreboards to Jake Paul.
Tank Davis has had
another fight, sell a part 2.
Tank Davis has had 30 wins, 28 by knockout, 2 by decision, and 1 draw. 30 wins, 28 by knockout, and 2 decisions, and 1 draw. That's a lot better record than Jake Paul.
And that fight is gonna go. It ain't gonna go that way though.
Well, I want Jake Paul to win because I really want Jake Paul to win the championship. But I'm really
Ew.
what?
I don't like Jake Paul.
I think if you're a if you're a YouTube content creator, you kind of have to support Jake Paul.
Why is that?
Because he is one of the most successful YouTube creators there's ever been. Him and Logan. Yeah. Him and Logan.
But if they
and he's done,
they were like,
and he's done so much for, and Jake Paul's done so much for boxing.
What'd he do?
He put so many eyes on the sport. Look how many people watched the Netflix fight he had.
They watch his fight though. They don't watch boxing in general. Like after his fight over, they go back to what they're doing. Like I actually watch boxing. Like I watch. I like women's boxing.
But people order the
pay.
paper.
Like I watch Teofimo. I watch Sky Nicholson.
But he puts eyes on the sport.
I don't like her, but I watch every boxing fight.
But he put eyes on the sport that wouldn't be on the sport otherwise. I mean, you kind of already admitted that people watch his fights that don't watch other boxing. So if they're fighting on the undercard, they benefit.
Well, it depends on his opponent, because if it's like Ben Askren or somebody like the masses don't really know Ben Askren or Tyron Woodley. So I think Jake Paul got to have the right opponent as well. Like people know Gervonta Davis. He's the hottest thing. So Mike Tyson had, he's Mike Tyson.
Well, I will be very interested to see how many people tune into the Davis fight, because he's not as household as Mike Tyson.
He's not, but I'm saying that's going to do numbers. Like, but I'm saying,
yeah, because the people that want it,
versus I don't know. If you do Jake Paul versus Devin Haney, like that ain't gonna really do much.
Yeah, well, the people that want to see Jake Paul get knocked out, they know this is probably the best chance he's ever had of getting knocked out. So the people that want to see him get knocked out know that this is the best chance he's ever had of getting knocked out. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. If Jake Paul gets knocked out clean and cut, I mean a devastating knockout, do you think this is the end of Jake Paul if he gets knocked out, or do you think he'll come back?
I think he's gonna come back because he's getting paid.
Yeah.
But I think the Jake Paul experiment, I think you're gonna lose a lot of people, because as long as Jake Paul keeps winning, that's how long he's gonna be able to do this. But I think
Jake Paul thinks he can win against Davis.
Because he's a smaller man.
I think he thinks he's talented enough to beat him. I think Jake Paul wants the world title.
I think he's just chasing clout. No matter how much clout he can get, whether it's good or bad, he want all the clout.
I think he has plenty. He's made plenty of.
Gets the clout. You go after a big name like Gervonta Davis.
I think if he beats Davis, he gets a title shot. Do you think they'll give him a title shot if he beats Davis?
I think he could get a title shot just because of his name alone. Like, this is not, like you said, this is the biggest draw in boxing. So, like, he's this. I mean, closest I could think is he's this generation's Conor McGregor.
He is.
I didn't watch Conor McGregor, but from what I heard, he had that like following that like you just had to watch him, and he just skipped the line.
Well, Mayweather kind of had that too.
Yeah, Mayweather had it, but what happened with Mayweather, his fights weren't exciting. Like people want to see knockouts, and Conor McGregor knocked people out. Jake Paul knocked people out. It got to a point with Mayweather that he was just point fighting, and it just got old.
Yeah, Mayweather.
Nobody want to see fight. Just like
I don't want to see Mayweather. I don't want to see Mayweather either, but it's for a different reason.
People boring because they want to see knockouts.
I don't want to see Mayweather, but it's for a different reason. He's a women beater, and I can't ever support a woman beater.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Jake Paul's never beat on women and stuff like that. That's why I support him, because he's never done any of that.
That we know of.
That's true too. But he's so in the public. If that was happening, I think it would come out because he's so in the public. If he was doing something like that, it would come out.
My question though, why does he keep going after black fighters?
I haven't really noticed that, but
like nobody really paid attention to that. But like I noticed he keeps going after black fighters. Like what's the issue? Like,
well, he's a Trump supporter. Jake Paul's a Trump supporter, right?
No, I don't follow him like that, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Jake Paul's a big Trump supporter. He dedicated his fight to Charlie Kirk when the thing with Charlie Kirk happened. He dedicated his next fight, the Davis fight, to Charlie Kirk.
Oh, now I definitely want him to lose.
That's how he gets you, though. That's how he gets you.
Yeah, he gets you to watch. But I mean, the best thing, if you don't like Jake Paul, just don't watch his fight because you're giving him numbers by watching it.
Yeah, you are. But I like Jake Paul. I just find him entertaining. He's entertaining.
I like him more his brother.
I watch his brother, but I think Jake's more entertaining than Logan.
I think Logan need to stay as far as away from WWE. Like, I don't want to see him on my screen.
Logan and Jake are both making a lot of money. I won't be surprised if Logan wins the WWE title.
But at the same time, though, I don't see the appeal in Sami Zayn. I see the appeal in Logan more than Sami Zayn or Braun Breaker. Like, Braun Breaker is just a fake Brock Lesnar. And then he's not even the biggest Brock. And Sami Zayn just looks like a homeless man. Like, why I want to see that on my screen? Like that ain't wrestling. A homeless man with a beer belly. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't like Kevin Owens either. But Kevin Owens is good on the mic.
Kevin Owens is definitely good on the mic. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I gotta let you go, man.
Okay, nice to talk to you.
Did you hear me? Yeah. I'll see y'all later. I'm getting off here.